What's up, everybody? Thanks for tuning in. Today, it's going to be a really cool episode because we have a really cool guest with us. Judah, who do we have with us?
Today we have Christian Frealdsson.
That's
I
right.
said that correctly, because if I did, I get kicked out. But Christian is a former goalkeeper in the Swedish Premier League. And right now he does too many things. I'm not going to say anything, but he does too many things.
We'll talk about some of those things, but mostly we're going to talk about his career as a football player, as a goalkeeper, his experience in the Swedish Premier League, and just the things he's learned along the way, because he's learned quite a bit, and we were inspired by his story.
Oh, yeah.
And so it's exciting that we get to share this. But anyway, this is What the Football. Let's get into it. So Christian, thanks so much for joining us, man.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, man. I guess let's just start with your history with football and how you got into the world of football and on that kind of road of becoming an athlete, like a professional football player, I guess.
Oh, wow. We have to go many years back. Well, I started my football career when I was 4 or 5 years old, playing with my brother's team. My dad was the coach, if you can call it coach.
Oh.
You know, the kind of dad coach. You know. So I joined them. Obviously, I was a little annoying kid running around, 4 or 5 years old. He's 3 years older, and some of the guys were like 4 years older. So yeah, I was just annoying and just started to play with them. And then after a while, they kind of realized that I could actually play football.
Yeah.
And at that time, I was a striker.
Oh,
really?
So I was actually out on the field. So that's how it all started. And then the Swedish kind of system is very different from many other systems with academies and so on. So we pick a team or a club, and then we go from year 9 to year 10, year 11, and then we just continue that way and up to hopefully the first team, right?
Mm.
So I was playing for a small club called AIK Mariestad, which is the village I'm from.
Okay.
And then when I got a little bit older, I think like 12, 13, I changed clubs to another club in Mariestad called Mariestads Beko, which is basically a ball club. So but through these years, I always played with older players, and I was still out on the field until I think I was like 13 or 14 when someone told me, 12, 13, when someone told me that you should probably be a goalkeeper, because I was quite big when I was a kid.
So it was a size thing.
It was a size thing. Back in the days, it was all about size, right? You know, he's a big guy. He's a tall guy. Whatever, he should be in the goal. And I was kind of brave as well. I wasn't scared of like throwing myself on the ground or whatever. So I tried it and I loved it.
Okay.
So that's how I ended up in the goal. 12, 13. Yeah, I think I was 12, 13 years old. And that year we went to a tournament in Italy, and I just fell in love with it. So from that moment, I was like, okay, I'm going to become a goalkeeper.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So that's how it all started. But a lot of it I have to thank my brother for, because he kind of taught me everything. He was tough on me. He, sometimes I was like, do you even like me? But it taught me so much, and just to play with people that are older than yourself at that age, it toughens you up, right?
Yeah.
So it was really good for me. And so a lot of it I have to thank him for. My parents were very much like, you do you, like whatever you like, whatever. So they were never pushy in any way, while my brother was a little bit more pushy, and he was like, let's go. So I have to thank him for a lot of the training and kind of to build my confidence and so on.
Yeah.
So because back in the days we didn't have any coaches that were not on salaries or anything like that. They were not like, academy coaches or anything like that. It was just someone's dad that basically didn't really know anything. We did a couple of exercises and then we played against each other. That's it. Right. So and a goalkeeper coach, my first goalkeeper coach I had when I was maybe 18.
Wow.
That's how bad it was, because it was still the mentality like, shut up and just catch the ball. That was a goalkeeper's job.
Yeah.
We're not really part of the team like a goalkeeper is today. Today, a goalkeeper is extremely important, and he starts the attack and everything. But back then, it was literally like just save the ball. Like, that's it. So
that's so true. Actually, the game has changed quite a bit.
Yeah, a lot. I know we're off topic here a little bit now, but that's how it started, and and then that led to signing my first contract when I was my real contract when I was 17, and then I went on loans a couple of times, and then when I was 33, it was over. Oh. Yeah.
What was that like for you? Like at 33, kind of hanging up the boots, or I guess the gloves?
It was tough. It was very, very tough. I was playing in the Premier League, and I was playing in the what you can call the championship, I guess, or the second league in Sweden, and for a very long time. And I knew that I was good, but I wasn't good enough to, go to Italy or England or Premier League or La Liga or anything like that. But that was always the dream, right? And that was always something I wanted to do, but I wasn't good enough for 100 different reasons. It has to do with a lot of things, right? But I felt when I stopped playing that I didn't give it my best and everything I had, and that was really tough, extremely tough, because I knew like I was better than this. And I felt it, and I knew it, but I mean, maybe I was a little bit lazy. Maybe I had it too easy in the beginning. You get a big head sometimes, and then also I was studying, right? So I was studying sport management. I was studying law. So I was never what you can call desperate for it, right? Like I knew that things were gonna work out anyway.
Yeah.
And also I didn't have a real agent until I was maybe 26, 27, something like that. So no one was really pushing me or guiding me either. And again, my parents were like, whatever makes you happy, right? Yeah. So I never had that crazy football dad that was like, oh, come on, which is great. But sometimes you need that as well.
Sure, yeah.
So I was always good, but when I realized that I was good, I was like, okay, it's fine. Like I don't need to be better. And that was the hardest part with stop playing.
Yeah.
That I didn't give it 1,000%.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's very vulnerable of you to be able to admit that to yourself. Like, man.
Yeah, but it took some time. It took some time for me because, again, football players, we have an ego that is just not healthy. We think we're extremely good while we're playing, and we have to think that as well, right? To perform.
Yeah,
But having someone. So I remember I had this conversation with a good friend of mine, Sebastian, and he was like, "Dude, you could have done better." And I was like, "Yeah, shut up! Like, no, no, this is it." It's like, "No, man." And then slowly starts to you slowly start to think about it, and you're like, you get more mature and so on. And you just realize, like, oh, yeah, I should have made this decision. I should have made that decision. And that would have taken me there. And I should have been smarter in my choices when I was, let's say, 23, 24.
Yeah.
But it is what it is.
I guess the question I have is, as a football player, though, I feel like it's not easy for you to kind of put yourself into those other areas or like start thinking about, okay, what's the best decision for me? And I guess you kind of mentioned already, but I'm curious, how important are agents and like managers and those kind of influences for like football players now, even coaches, I guess.
I mean, a coach is everything, I would say, for many different reasons. Or we can start with the man or with the agents. An agent is extremely important for you when it comes to the business side of things and pushing you and so on. But an agent is most of the time, and I'm not saying that all agents are like this, but most of the time they're only interested when you're doing something good and when you're in the right spot, when you played a good game, or if like it's not often where they're like, let's sit down. Why did you have a bad game? Even though it's in the agent's interest for you to perform as a player, but it's easier to take care of players that are doing extremely well, because that's easier to move these players and get them new contracts and so on. So an agent is extremely important when it comes to the business side of things. A coach is everything. If you have a coach that trusts you, believe in you, you just become a better player. If you have a coach that doesn't believe in you, you have nothing. Right? And it's not an easy job for a coach either. I have a few friends that they're coaches now, and the most difficult thing, and they keep on coming back to this, is to keep number 12 to 22 happy. You know, because they're not playing that much. The 11 that are like, you know, in the team most of the weeks, if they're not injured and so on, they're happy. You know, you don't really have to push them to perform, because they know they have to perform, but they're also happy to play, and they're the coach favorites and so on. So to keep them happy and keep their confidence up, it's not that hard. But number 12, and especially player 12 to 15, that is like, they're as good as the players that are playing, but they're not. Right. So those, if you can control and if you can keep those players happy as a coach, you have a good team. But saying that a coach or manager or whatever they call themselves is everything. Everything. Because he or she decides everything in your career. If they play you, you have a chance. If they don't, you're gone.
So that means part of coaching is not just tactics, it's actually man management.
Yes.
Yeah, definitely. We see 11 guys most of the time. Sometimes we watch the female leagues as well, but if we're going to stick to male football, we see 11 guys compete against another 11 guys once a week or twice a week. And that's what we see. And we see the coach, he's like doing 3, 4, or 5 subs, right?
Yeah.
But what's happening the rest of the week, we have no idea about that, right? And that's where that's the most important days, or those days are the most important, because when these guys are on the field, it should be how do you say it, like a self-playing piano, right? And it's not that much a coach can do during the 90 minutes.
So the off the field determines what happens on the field.
Yeah.
Oh, beautiful. But it's funny that we don't get front row seats for that.
Yeah.
Well, Amazon is beginning to do.
I was about to say these documentaries
Yeah,
really
these
help these days.
Yeah. No, definitely.
I've seen the Arsenal one. I've seen the Juventus one. I think
Spurs one.
Yeah.
I think there's a City one also.
Oh yeah, the City one's really good.
So in your career, do you feel like, can you give like names of coaches that you feel like this guy really helped me in my development, Sandra? You might think some of them didn't
honestly,
like it.
No, but like I had a hard time with a few of my coaches because I did not agree at all how they were as leaders. Not so much about how they are as tactical coaches and so on. You guys know me now. I have a very hard time to be quiet.
Yeah.
I speak up when I think there's something wrong, or if I think that something should be done in a different way and be done in a better way, in my opinion, right? And that is not popular. If you're 24 years old or 25 years old and you're like, hey, coach, what are you doing? He's going to slap you, and then, you're on the bench.
Yep.
Because the players have extreme egos. The coaches is even worse.
Oh, wow.
I mean, we were just talking about someone before this started, and I mean, you can't argue with a guy like that, right?
Yep.
And yeah, I don't know. I'm just thinking about the coaches I had in my time, but the absolute best coach and the best leader, and I've told him this, was my last club, my last year when I was playing for AIK in Stockholm. Was a guy called Lee Baxter.
I know that name.
Yeah, so his dad is Stuart Baxter. That was the captain or the coach for South African national team many years, and he was a coach for Chiefs and so on. But Lee Baxter, he was known in Sweden to be the best goalkeeper we ever had, but in training. So he didn't have the game skill, if you can call it that. But when it came to being an athlete, saving the balls and he was just amazing. People that saw him in training was like, why is this guy not playing in the Premier League or in La Liga or whatever? Yeah. But saying that, like, he was the absolute best coach I ever had, because he took time to see what I needed to train, what I needed to practice, what I needed. And keep in mind that I was 33 at that time, and I learned more from him in just a couple of months than what I learned from other goalkeeper coaches.
Yeah. Wow.
And that just shows that what if, there's a lot of what ifs in life, but what if I had a coach like him when I was 21?
Wow, yeah.
What could have happened? And those are the things, coming back to your question, like if it was tough to hang up the gloves, those were the questions and thoughts that came in mind. But we never know.
Yeah.
Never know.
You never know, you said.
Yeah.
True though. I want to ask a question, because you said even while you were playing, you were studying.
Yeah.
How did you balance football and going for training and going for classes or lectures and all of that? So when did you start your program? How did you balance playing and studying?
So I started studying in university when I was 19 or 20. I started to study to become a PE teacher. That was 2.5 years. And then I realized that I don't want to be a PE teacher. I want to be more on the, finance side or the legal side of things. But to answer your question, it's not difficult at all. It is any football player that says, "Oh, I don't have time for anything else," they're lying. Straight up.
Okay.
You're on a bus, you're on a plane, you're on your way to the training facility. You have so much time where you don't do anything. Okay, fine. If you're injured, that's a whole other thing, because if you're injured, you train so much more than if you're actually not injured, and you don't have time for anything else. It's every day in the gym, hours and hours, and physio and so on. So then you don't really have time for much, but you're not injured that often, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, people or football players that are saying we don't have time to study or anything like that, I call BS on that. Because imagine, I mean, you're sitting in a bus for sometimes 3 hours, 4 hours. You can just read a book instead of talking crap to your mate, right?
Yeah.
And you're in hotel rooms all the time. If you have a away game, one night before you're in the hotel room, and one night after you're in the hotel room, or you're on the flight. So,
well, with all that traveling, I think it's where we are right now. I think online studies.
It's easy, but also during season you have, most of the times you have one practice, right? Then you can go to the university and do your classes, or it's not difficult.
Or maybe they think they need to go with personal security. Most of them are big boys.
I was not on that level. So maybe, maybe the big guys. But also, I was also on a level where, the Swedish Premier League doesn't pay like the Premier League or La Liga or whatever. If I was 19 or 18 and I made, £150,000 a week, I wouldn't go to the university.
That's
would you guys?
Yeah, because I was gonna ask,
question.
like, what was your motivating factor? Because I feel like you were motivated to do that. Like, you had a motivation,
Yeah.
right?
No, I think that was also something bad for me, because I knew that I'm not dumb, right? So I knew that I could actually get a degree, and I was like, okay, I'm going to do something after I'm done with football. But I already started to think about that when I was, early 20s, or even before I was 20. So I wasn't desperate enough to, I didn't need the football in that way, even though I wanted it.
Right.
But I just wanted to study. That's why I did it. I didn't really plan things, but it's also quite boring, during the days. Like, how many times can you go for a coffee with your friends? How many times can you play FIFA on on PlayStation? Like, it becomes quite boring.
Yeah.
It's also good for meeting new people that are not playing football and so on. So for me, it was a very easy choice to do that. But again, if I would have made £150,000 a week, I don't know, it would have probably been
very different.
very different.
Because then you're set. You're like, I have all the income.
Yeah.
What am I going to school for?
Yeah.
I mean, the Swedish Premier League, when we were playing, it was a good salary, but that's it. It was a good Swedish salary, but it wasn't crazy money that it is today.
So in your time, like 16 years of professional football,
Yeah.
do you see, or do you did you see a lot of players studying, or are you like one in 20? Or like,
During my whole time playing football, I met 4 other guys that actually studied in university.
in 16 years of
It was 16 years of playing.
you met only 4 people.
Yeah.
4 football players
4 football player.
who actually went to
Yeah.
study.
Do you think that's changed now for professional football players?
No, I think it's even worse now.
Really?
Oh.
Yeah. Because now it's even more money, right?
Sure, yeah.
Yeah, that's a lot of money.
Especially if you look at UK. You can play in Division 4, whatever, League 3 or whatever it's called. And you still...
League 2.
League 2, yeah.
There's the Premier League, the Championship, then League 1, League 2.
Yeah. What is then? Is it...
That's the 4th division.
Yeah. So League 2, you still earn good money compared to what a lot of other people are earning. So why would you study, right? And I don't think that a lot of players even think about what they're going to do after they're done. I do have a lot of friends that, you know, they were very good players and they played as professionals in Turkey, or they were in Germany for 2 years or whatever, but that's it. You know, it comes to, you're like 32, 33, 34, and then you realize, oh, no one really calls me anymore. You know, what's happening? Well, you're old, because there's a 16-year-old that wants your jersey.
Younger, more energetic.
Exactly.
He's gonna give more.
Yeah, unless you're Maldini or these guys. I mean, they played until they were 65. You know?
Or Zlatan.
Zlatan. Yeah. Well, sadly, he injured himself, right? But if he wasn't injured, and I think he would have played until
maybe 49.
Yeah. Yeah, because he's
50th.
I mean, look at his physique.
Yeah, so he kept himself in good shape.
Yeah.
He did.
Yeah.
He did. Even you, yes.
Yeah, you
keep it in shape too, right?
No, man. I mean, I'm hiding it well.
That's what I do every time.
No, it's.
Do you? I'm sure you still work out and like.
I try. But when I do work out, I most of the times I go to the gym is because I wake up and I feel like I'm in pain, and I need to like strengthen something, or my back is not correct, or, you know, it's never for
stay fit.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. But I'm trying.
Well, it's all right. It's a good one. So right now, when you sit on your couch and you watch football now, do you feel like this is way different than what it used to be for us?
Yes, it's extreme. It's in my opinion 2 different sports.
Wow,
that's how big the difference is. The players, they're athletes in a very different way now. We were athletes and we were well trained, but back then it was. And now I'm talking about like it's 50 years ago. It's not. But like a lot of things happened in the last 10 years.
Yeah,
a lot of things, and now you have all these tech things. Like you can measure if a guy is you know, he puts more pressure on his left leg, and then you know that if he does that for a long time, then he's gonna get injured, and that's where his problem is. So then they take them off, and he does some other exercises instead, and you have all these tech that is measuring your heart rate and whatnot.
Yeah.
We didn't have that. We had the dry fit T-shirt. Like, that's it. It's true.
That's about as close as they got.
Yeah.
So what was, as at that time when you were playing, when a player signs for a club, what did medicals look like? And what does medicals look like now?
Medicals then, obviously, again, I'm talking on my level, right? Yeah. And obviously there was much more tests and so on if you signed for Milan or AC Milan, or if you signed for Liverpool or Man U or any of these clubs, right? But on my level, it was you were running a couple of K on the treadmill. They took your blood test and heart rate, and that's it. I don't even know if they did anything with the blood test, but it looked good.
It's like taking something.
Yeah. And also, we had a doctor on the team, we had a physio, chiropractor, and all of that, but we didn't have a full dedicated team.
Yeah.
Because they also they were not full time. And
They had day jobs.
Yeah, of course.
So that was part-time for them.
Yeah, definitely.
Wow.
But now we have full teams that are, and even in the Swedish league now, like it's changed completely.
And now team doctors and all of that.
Yeah, you have all of that, and I mean everything is so much more advanced now.
Right. Yeah.
And also, sadly, we had a few cases of heart problems in the Swedish league. And that was actually the reason why I came back to football in 2013, because AIK's goalkeeper sadly passed away. So he had a heart condition. So he passed away in his sleep. And that wouldn't really happen now. Yeah, there is some cases, but it was much more common then. Yeah.
Yeah.
If you had these monitors and whatever they're using now, you see they have these small vests that are measuring the number of meters or yards they're running, and everything is controlled.
That's what that stuff is?
Yeah, they have a chip in the back here.
Because I see them, they remove their shirts and they're wearing these things.
Yeah.
That's what that is?
It's not a bra.
Measuring. Yeah. I always thought that was just some kind of brace or something they were wearing. That's actually measuring stuff.
Yeah, so
while
they have
we're playing.
Yeah, they have a chip in the back.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Technology has changed the game.
Yeah, and you even have technology where you can put in the boot or around your ankle how many times you touch the ball and for how long you have the ball, and so everything is monitored.
Dang.
Everything.
I did not know that.
Yeah.
Wow.
So the data is becoming more and more and more important.
Oh yeah, that's everything now, right?
Yeah. So
that's how they're signing players now.
Yeah, a lot. And it started, I mean, I don't know if you've seen the movie Moneyball. I hope I'm not wrong now, but I think it's baseball.
Yeah.
So they're taking all the data and so on, and then the guy that owns Midtjylland, or at least owned Midtjylland, and I think he owns a club in the Premier League as well. He started to implement that, where he looked more and more on stats instead of just he's
scouting report.
Yeah, exactly. So and they did really well.
Yeah,
I mean they're in the Danish Premier League, and for a long time it was only FC Copenhagen, right?
Yeah.
But then Midtjylland came up and they started to sell players for millions and millions. So yeah, he did it real well.
Oh, is this?
He owns a betting company. I'm not sure what his name is.
He's this is a Danish guy, right?
No, he's British.
Oh, he's British. Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know who I'm thinking of. Maybe I'm thinking of a different person. Anyway,
Two different spots.
So to answer your question very shortly, it's a complete different game right now.
Do you enjoy watching football still? Do you watch like willingly?
Yeah, I watch the Swedish Premier League a lot. I watch the big games in the Premier League. I watch Classico and these games, right? But I do enjoy watching the Swedish Premier League a lot. I think it's also because it's hard to kind of let go of it, right?
Yeah, like nostalgic.
Yeah, it is. I played on this arena. He was 13 when I was playing. It's like you still know quite a lot of the players.
Yeah.
The coaches that are around and so on. So it brings back memories, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, I do watch. I do watch the Swedish league a lot. It's not the best league in the world. It's getting better and better every year, I would say. There is more and more money involved in the Swedish league. Our supporter culture is amazing. It's absolutely insane. If you watch the tifos or the organized things that they do in the stands, if you watch AIK or Djurgården or Malmö and a couple of other clubs, it's just insane what they're doing. And that culture, you don't have that anywhere else in the world, I would say, except from maybe the Argentinian games, South America, or the Turkish games, like Gala and these teams. But it's just crazy what they do in the stands.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Yeah.
It's just beautiful.
Yeah.
Well, not many people, I feel like, can say they've played in the Swedish Premier League. You know, I mean, there's a lot of Swedish players, so you are one of them. So you have that in your, that's written for you, right?
Yeah, no, definitely. definitely.
So that's a pretty cool thing.
Most of the Swedish players now, did they all play in the league? So like Isak, Kulusevski, Lindelof.
Ishak came up and he was training with the team when I don't know how old he was. I think it was like 14, 15.
Oh.
The last year I was playing, Lindelof went really early to Benfica in Portugal. Yeah. So he played for Västerås, which was in the 3rd division in Sweden. And then he went to Benfica. And then after that, I think he was, so his story is quite interesting. And I think I know it, as I'm not sitting here lying, but he was, not sure which year it was, but it was one year where Sweden won the European under 21. And what was it, 2000? Yeah, it must have been like 2014 or something like that. And he was a reserve. And then one of the I think it was the right defender, got injured, so he was called in, and then he played every single game, and then his career just went like this.
Oh, just need one game
most of the time.
But he was obviously a very, very talented football player, and he played for Benfica. I mean, it's still a good team. Yeah,
it's good.
But that's when the big clubs started to watch him.
So not all of them started off in the league. Someone like Kulu.
Kulusevski was in a club called BP, Swedish club.
All of them have.
Yeah, they all started obviously in those clubs, but so BP is very known for to take care of talents, and they kind of start to sign talents very, very early.
Okay.
And they take talents to their club very, very early. It's actually, and I might be wrong here, but it's actually the biggest club in Europe when it comes to number of players.
Wow.
So they have the 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th team, and they follow them all the way up, and then they pick the players that are good. So a lot of the players in the national team is actually from BP.
Cool.
Yeah. Cool. They're always between Premier League and the 2nd league in Sweden.
Nice. That's really cool.
Yeah.
You know a lot about Swedish football.
Yeah,
I do.
Well, you're correct. You're definitely
awesome,
following the league.
Yeah.
I was gonna ask you, did you ever cross paths with Zlatan?
I did. When I was very young, we were at the same camp, and we played against each other last year before he went to Ajax.
Okay.
No one really took him serious.
Really?
He was very, very good, very, very cocky, interesting young man
At that time.
as well.
Oh, my God.
But
Some things don't change.
no, definitely not. But what a player! What an amazing player! And that time that year when he before he went to Ajax, people started to talk about him, and this was in the second division of in Sweden, right? And everyone was like, yeah, he's a talent, but I don't know, like he's too cocky. You should just be how do you say this? A Swedish saying, but I'm gonna try to translate it here. You should just stay in line, basically. Like you should know your place.
Yeah.
And a lot of the older players, they were like, there's a lot of hierarchy in teams, right? And even worse before, it was always the older players that dictated everything, and they didn't like him in Malmö at all. Like everyone was like, oh, this guy, But then he just exploded.
Yeah.
And then Ajax bought him, and then the rest is history.
That's true. The rest is history.
He's one of the best.
In my opinion, and
From
I
Sweden.
might be biased here, but he's one of the best strikers ever in history, in my opinion. Because the things that he could do with the ball and the way he moved on the pitch was something new, right?
Yeah.
And he's a big guy, but still he's super fast. He can do magic with the ball, right?
Yeah.
And it was something that, in my opinion, the world never seen before.
Yeah.
You had Ronaldinho, you had the real Ronaldo, and all of these players, right? But they were just amazing in different ways. But when Zlatan came up, I think it was in what was it, Inter, or was it Juventus? He went to after Ajax. I don't remember. One of the two.
I think he played Juventus before.
It was Juventus, yeah. All right.
Before Inter, because he swapped with Eto'o to go to Barca.
Oh yeah, true. So yeah, what he did there, and everyone was like, "What is he doing? This is new things, right?" Yeah,
It's like the total package, basically.
Yeah.
You got somebody who can dribble well. He's tall, strong.
Yeah,
You got
I think
everything.
part of the things I remember about his play was when the ball is coming towards him at a level where you expect him to use his head,
yeah,
to still raise his leg that high.
yeah.
And he was a huge guy.
Yeah,
true.
That's
and he was just glued to his foot, right?
yeah,
Like
his leg-
it's
how did he
insane.
raise his leg that high.
He has a
Insane.
famous bicycle kick for the
Sweden
national team.
Oh, yeah,
against
the
England. It was the I think it was the opening of the new national arena.
Yeah,
Wow,
Um,
yeah.
I think that was
and-
4-4. It was a 4-4 game,
Yes,
and I think he scored all 4. I could be wrong, but I think he
Such
scored
as like
Yeah, I think he scored 3.
3
I
or
think it's-
4.
yeah. And the last goal was we won 4-2.
Was it 4-2?
Yeah, it was another famous game which was against Germany. That was 4-4.
That was 4-4.
Yeah, but this I think we won 4-2, and yeah, he
Yeah.
cycled it from I don't know,
Crazy.
30 meters or so.
crazy guy.
Yeah,
Zlatan.
it was insane. It was insane.
I
But we
remember
had
when
quite a lot of good football players from Sweden. We had
Yeah.
Henrik Larsson, Freddie Ljungberg.
oh yes,
Those
yeah,
guys.
yeah.
I mean, now we have Kolo, we have Ishak, we have a lot of really good players.
How exciting is Isak? Were you gonna say
I
something?
was going to ask a question.
Yeah,
Why is Sweden not in the Euros
Oh,
this summer? Why do you think you guys did not qualify?
because right now the national team, and I don't know how to say this without swearing, but, we're just not in the right place. I think the coach or the manager that was there for quite a few years, he did an amazing job, but I think he stayed too long because the previous coach, John Anderson.
Okay.
So he did it extremely well with the old Sweden, with Sebastian Larsson, with Mikkel Lustig, Zlatan, all these players, right? But then, like we discussed before, football changed.
Yeah.
And changed very quickly, and Sweden started to get very talented players that is almost like, five-a-side players. Like their skills is very, very different from what we were used to in Sweden. You have Henrik Larsson, which was, he was not a dribbler in any way. Like he just knew exactly how to run, exactly where to be. And he was an amazing player like that. But these new generation players, they have such a different way how they move, what they do with the ball, how they look at football. And I don't think that the coach that we had, I don't think he was ready for that.
Okay.
Sweden has always been very good at defending. We had great defenders. Olof Mellberg, Patrick Andersson played in Bayern Munich for many, many years. Good, and we were always a 4-4-2. Like that was how we played. And then we have these players that play in Tottenham or in Newcastle, where they play like 4-3-3 or 4-1-1-2-2-2. Like it's so many different systems now, right?
Yeah.
And they were just not ready for that. So we, the qualification was horrible. We had, I think it was Austria, lost twice. It's Austria. Was it Switzerland or Austria? One of them. And a couple of other games that was just...
So now you guys are in the same group
embarrassing.
with Hungary. I think Hungary topped the group.
It was... it was either Hungary or Switzerland or Austria. No, I don't remember. So we're going through a big change now or a switch in the national team. They're currently looking for a new head coach. Yeah.
Would you apply for something like that?
You should.
But I'm happy if I know all the players' names. No, I should not. I should definitely not do that. I can sit at home and have opinions.
That's cool.
Let's do it. Let's keep it with that. But no, I'm not a coach. I'm not even. That's never been a goal or an interest for me. No, never.
Interesting.
With the right manager, though, do you feel like Sweden have, the right kind of talent coming through now?
Definitely. We have,
you got Isak, you got Kulusevski,
Kajuste. We have, we have really good strikers and offensive players, right? But we don't know how to defend right now, because we're, like you said, Kulusevski, Isak, we have Kajuste, we have what's his name? He plays in Benfica now as well. He used to play for Albion in Premier League. Should know his name. And a striker, yeah. He's amazing, right? What's his name? Anyway, so we have really, really, really good players, but we don't have enough defenders. And in my opinion, I don't think we have a goalkeeper that is good enough. It's been Olsen for many years, and he's been, second goalkeeper, and then he's been playing in Turkey or whatnot. So he's an extremely good goalkeeper, don't get me wrong, but he's not on the level with the top goalkeepers in the world.
Yeah. Well, hopefully next Euros and
The next thing
next
is
Euros, next
World Cup,
next
yeah.
is World Cup.
2026. That's the next
Can they
one.
qualify for that?
Yeah, it starts in. I think it's in February or March. It starts.
Okay.
Qualifying.
Yeah.
Hopefully they get it in order. And
I mean, we're in the D division. I think it is in this Euro League, the extra qualification league or whatever they started, which was, that's another topic.
Hopefully there are glory days ahead for you guys.
yeah.
Yeah, no,
I mean,
I
I'm
think
just excited with Isak, man. I mean,
Gyökeres is his name.
Who?
Gyökeres, the striker.
Okay.
Gyökeres, yeah.
That's
Look him up.
you said he plays
wait.
for Albion,
No, now he plays for Benfica.
Benfica. Okay, we'll look him up.
That's right. Let's move.
I was just gonna say Isak, man. Like he's just an incredible talent, and I mean his goal against who did they just play? City. Yeah, that goal against City, man, was just like he's at Newcastle starting playing, and like I'm looking at Arsenal now, and like there's all these rumors like Arsenal need a striker and stuff.
Yeah.
But like, how good is he? You know, as a talent right now, like a young talent like him.
How is he? Is this team young?
He's 22.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
23 now. But he's been, he went
I've been hearing his
to,
name for what?
he
Yeah,
went
that's
to,
the thing.
he
Yeah,
went to
he's good.
Dortmund when he was 17, I think. But how good is Ishak? Extremely good.
Is that how
I
you
mean-
say it? Ishak?
Alexander Ishak, yeah.
I've been saying Ishak all this time.
That's what I've been saying too.
Oh,
Ishak.
wow. Thank you. No, Ishak. Cool.
So I think he can probably become one of the best players we ever had.
Mm.
But in the national team, he didn't score for 13 months or something like that.
Mm.
It was he just didn't score in the national team.
Is that
And that
because of
comes-
these players behind him?
Definitely. I mean, look at Newcastle. They have slightly better players than what we
I think
have
behind him. He has like Longstaff, Guimaraes,
Yeah,
all those kind of
Yeah.
guys are behind him.
it's class players, right?
Yeah.
Gordon.
Yeah. Even if they put their 23rd guy in, he's still going to be a player in the Swedish national team, in my opinion. So obviously it's easier for him in a way, but he's also playing against players that are as good, right?
Yeah.
Mhm.
So
Yeah. To play against the City defenders, that's
it's
not
crazy. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. So I don't know what went wrong. I don't think that they used him in the right way in the national team. But yeah, he's going to become a very, very, very good.
Well, hopefully they do use him in the right way because he's going to be their next, hopefully, major goal scorer.
Yeah. I think he has
Fill the
good
shoes.
movements. His movements
Oh,
are
yeah.
beautiful.
Yeah.
The ball in stride is great to see. So
Yeah.
it was good. We'll keep watching. Hopefully Newcastle can keep him for long.
Oh, yeah.
Well, it depends on their finances. So
Well,
There we go.
I mean, they obviously the owners have
they have enough.
have deep pockets.
They have enough money.
but do they want to use it for Newcastle? That's
true.
that's that
Fair
question.
point.
And does he also want to play like a more traditional club, like a Real Madrid or something like that?
Yeah,
Would he like to play at the Bernabeu? You never know. So
yeah,
it is what it is.
yeah.
Oh,
It
I mentioned Arsenal. That's your favorite team.
is. It is.
Outside of Sweden, I guess.
Outside of Sweden. Yeah.
No, the funny thing is I don't watch the national team that much.
Mm.
I'm very much into the club football and Swedish club football.
Mm.
The national team, yeah, watch it obviously if if it's the Euros or the World Cup and so on, but not. I'm not gonna wake up at like 1 o'clock in the morning to watch a game if that's what I have to do. But yeah, Arsenal has always been my team. I don't know why.
Was it Freddie that got you?
No, not at all. I mean, he's only 3 years older than me, right?
Yeah, buddies.
So we no, he was not a big idol for me. No, definitely not. No, I liked Seaman.
Okay.
And I actually fell in love with Arsenal because they had this jersey that I absolutely loved. And it was
The JVC one?
it was a JVC one, the red one.
That's
JVC.
iconic.
Yeah.
I'm not even an
Yeah.
Arsenal fan, and I know that shit.
And also a couple
Iconic.
of years later, they had this crazy jersey that had like purple and blue and everything, and I was just like, okay, this is fashion. So that's when I fell in love with them, and I went to watch them a couple of times, and it's just
Was
crazy.
that at Highbury or at?
Highbury? Yeah,
You went to Highbury?
that's how old I am, my friend.
No, but like you got to go to Highbury, man. That's
Wait,
amazing.
is it still there?
It's there, but it's not
I have
a
no idea.
stadium anymore. I think, yeah. But that's amazing, man.
Yeah.
That's you went to the
Yeah.
glory days.
Yeah,
Really?
exactly.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
What's your, as a former goalkeeper, what's your take on the whole Ramsdale and Raya situation?
I think it's again, we have no idea what's going on
Sure,
behind closed doors, right? But looking at it from the outside, I think it's horrible what they did to Ramsdale.
Mm.
He was one of, I would say, Europe's best goalkeepers, and then gone.
Yeah. And
Why?
he's young still.
Yeah.
right?
Why? And that's again coming back to how important the coach is. And I'm saying this again without knowing what actually is going on, right? Because it can be with have to do with contracts or whatever. But it's just if it's true, what the rumors is that the coach and Ramsdale they don't get along.
Mm.
It's horrible. He's still an amazing goalkeeper, but
Yeah.
he's destroying his career.
Do you think he should leave this?
Yeah, he should have
January?
left
Well,
this summer.
The window is still open.
Yes.
Yeah. No, I think definitely if he's allowed to.
He
But
should.
then again, the club will decide that, right? They can just say, no, he's not for sale.
Oh yeah, he's still on contract. Anyway.
Yeah.
That's all right.
How do you feel like how much of a dent does it take to his confidence? Like at the moment, he's not playing that much. The only games he's probably played are the ones they've lost.
Yeah, so he played the FA Cup against Leeds.
Yeah.
and They
They
lost,
lost
that
that
one.
2-0.
Even though
Now,
he
I'm not
didn't have a
saying-
bad game.
Yeah, I'm not saying that was
Yeah.
his fault.
No.
No.
Look, I think of being a goalkeeper is a horrible position to be
Mm.
in, because there's no one ever that says like, yeah, it's all right. It's either like, yeah, he played a good game, or he was absolute crap.
Mhm.
There's no in between.
Right.
But watching this documentary on whatever was it, Apple or
Amazon.
Amazon,
Town Hall
yeah,
and everything. Yeah.
yeah, it looks like he has a pretty good confidence and like
yeah.
he's secure in himself and knows what he can do and what kind of goalkeeper he is, right? So, but it's always tough, tough, because the fans you're gonna hear it.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can turn off your Instagram or whatever, but you will hear it. You go to a cafe or whatever, there's some idiot telling you something or calling you something or whatever.
Yep.
Especially in a country like UK or in England where
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
everyone is football
Yep.
fanatics. So, I don't know. It's very hard to say, but yeah, I mean, he's probably not in his best mood. Let's put it like that.
So if you are in his shoes, what thoughts will be going through your mind? As a goalkeeper, you had a great season there last year.
I would be like, and again, I'm not going to swear, but that would be needed right now. I'd be like, what is going on?
Yeah.
Or would you just call your agent and go, get me another club?
Yeah.
I mean, he already did. I'm 100% sure that he
he
did
must have
that.
done it.
Yeah, of course. Because going from that position to be a second goalkeeper in a team that is not really performing right now is tough, right? So yeah,
Yeah.
no idea about that.
That's
I
fair.
would have been really pissed off.
Mm.
Really, really pissed off.
Yeah.
I think stories like this now bring up the whole idea of football and mental health.
That's right. Yeah.
So does he? I assume most of these big clubs now have like a club psychologist and stuff like that. So would he now be spending a lot of time in the psychologist's office? Or
I think
he keep his head in the game.
I mean, a lot of it comes down to yourself, how you want to work with it, because as you know, we're men, right? Like it's very, very sensitive for us to talk about this, and depending on what kind of nationality you have, I'm pretty sure that teams like Galatasaray, and now I'm just saying this again without knowing, but like Turkish mentality, and where you're the man, right? So Galatasaray, do they have a
Club psychologist?
Doubt it. If I had to guess, I doubt it. In Sweden, for example, it becomes more and more common that they're working with some psychologist or mentorships or positive kind of coaching in a way that has nothing to do with football, just life coaching in a way. Keep in mind that these players is worth millions and millions and millions of pounds. You can sell a player for 50 million pounds, for example. Of course, you want to keep him happy. You want to keep him fit, and not only physically but also mentally.
Yeah.
It's becoming more and more important. It's becoming more and more common for teams to have this kind of help. Should it been at an earlier stage, or should the clubs have invested more in this earlier? Definitely, 100%.
When you were playing, was mental health a big thing?
It didn't exist. It's like, okay, just deal with it. Suck it up. Yeah, exactly. Deal with it. Be a man. Like that's what I mean, I don't know how many times I've heard that from coaches. Like, just deal with it, whatever. Like that's how it is. So it was never like a one-on-one. Like it was one-on-ones, but it was like, so how's your right arm? Is it feel good? Are you injured? It was never like, how do you feel? What's the problem here? Like, why are you not performing? Is there something happening at home? Is there girlfriend, wife, whatever? There's never a question like that, ever. Like during my whole career, no one ever asked me, not once.
Wow.
And that is, I mean, during that time, I never thought about it, ever. Like you just dealt with it.
Sure, yeah.
There's games where you heard things that, I wouldn't even call anyone those things, right?
Yeah.
But with football fans, it's like, well, they're football players. They should be able to take anything, and especially now with social media, it's so easy to. I mean, you can contact Cristiano. You had no access to him before Instagram. Zero. But now there's fans that are literally, they can just DM him and kind of think that they know him or that he owe them something, and they can say whatever. Of course, he's not taking care of his own Instagram account, but like if you look at the players that are a bit younger and they're up and coming and so on, it's tough. It's really, really tough.
How much do fans contribute to this problem?
I mean, I would say they're 100% of the problem. We need the fans.
Sure.
They're so important for the game, football. Like without fans, it's nothing.
Right.
It doesn't exist. It's boring. I mean, we saw the COVID season, right? Like what's going on? It was horrible. Without the fans, football is nothing. But we also have the problems with some of the fans, and it's like
some of the fans.
Yeah, it's. I mean, I don't know. I mean, if it's 1%, that is just. They just think that players and the clubs and everything owe them So yeah, we do when we're on the field, but when we're off the field, like treat us like, you know, human being,
Right. Yeah.
not as a football player.
Yeah. Because
And,
you're not an asset like anybody that's playing. They're not just an asset. They're a human, living, breathing
of
human
course,
being, right?
of course. But the stuff that you read about players and
Sure.
the rumors and, you know, relationships, and they're calling wives and girlfriends or daughters or sons names and all of this, and all the racism that is going on in the stands is just like, what is wrong with you?
Yeah.
Why do you think this is okay?
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's not a football fan's problem. It's not a football fan problem. It's a society problem.
That's true.
Which is, you know, again, a completely different
Yeah,
part.
That's true.
That's
true.
That's a whole new conversation.
Yeah.
On a different level.
Yeah. But I you know, there's football fans from all levels, like from the most poor guy in Brazil up to the richest guy in UK or whatever. You know.
Like the guy who just bought 25% of United.
Exactly. Billionaires, right? But it just reflects the society. That's how it looks like.
Yeah.
And racism will always exist in the real world. So obviously that will be brought into the arena. So
Wow, that's a perspective.
We
right
look
there.
forward to the day that it will come to an end.
Amen. Yeah.
With hope.
One day.
zero
With
chance.
a lot of hope. There was a I think there was a story you told us, like off camera one of the times we met, where you had just signed for a club and you were, I think, having a meal, and one of the fans said you couldn't have that.
Yeah. So I was super happy. It was with AIK. The last club I was playing for, they called me back, and it was kind of weird how I got back into football, of course, and it was sad and everything, but I was super happy. I lived in Dubai. They contacted me. I was actually a good friend of mine, also old football player, Akbar Barsam. That is he's an agent, and he became an agent right after he stopped playing, and he called me. He's like, dude, how's your shape? And I was like,
Not very fit.
bro, I'm gonna be honest with you here. Like, I'm fat. I just stopped playing. I was in Dubai for 6-7 months or whatever, and you know what happens here.
Yeah.
Oh yes. Oh yeah.
So-
They say Habibi.
Yeah.
Welcome to Dubai.
So yeah, I was really not in shape, and kind of enjoyed not having to go to practice or the gym or whatever, and partying a bit and so on. But he's like, look, you have a week to get in shape here. Because, and I was like, what are you talking about? It's like, no, you're gonna go for a tryout to AIK. And I was like, well, they know what I can do, because I was playing with one of, like, in their like sister club last year. Like, they know what kind of goalkeeper. Yeah, and he's like, yeah, they're not worried about that. They're worried about your what shape you're in. I was like, oh shit. So that, from that day, it was like, for a week, it was like literally water and bread and like not like that. But it was like I really had to like go on
your diet
completely, and the gym like 2-3 times a day and so on, just to try to get in kind of a little bit better shape. And I had a couple of private sessions with the goalkeeper coach here and so on. So I came like semi well prepared, and anyway, so I ended up signing. But some of my friends in the team, they were like, dude, what's going on here? I was like, well, I'm going to get in shape. But to answer your question, so obviously I was super happy when I signed and everything was done, and I had to go back to Dubai to kind of pack up my stuff and go back to Sweden again. But on the day when I signed, I had a dinner with a good friend of mine, and we were celebrating. I had a glass of wine and so on. But then in the restaurant, there was part of the club's fans, which is like the hardcore fans, and one of the guys
Like
saw
the
me.
Buccaneers, huh?
Yeah, exactly. And it was in the newspaper that I signed and everything, so they recognized me and they came up to me. It's like, enjoy your wine. This is the last glass of wine you have for the next X amount of months.
Oh, wow.
And that's, again, on my level, right? Imagine the players in Real Madrid, you know, the guys like Rooney that likes it, that, like, I can imagine that he had a problem, right?
Too soon.
I mean, he was doing it his whole career, so it's in some way the fans they think that they can decide what you should do just because they're buying the ticket or just because they watch the game.
True.
That's not how it works.
Yeah.
You know, if let's say that this guy he works at, I don't know, Coca-Cola, I'm not gonna go into his job and say like, oh, you need to change this. Like, shut up, dude. Like,
Yeah.
what do you know? You don't know shit.
Yeah.
You probably never played football. Like a glass of wine or whatever 5 days before a game doesn't matter.
Yeah.
You know.
Wow.
I remember you telling us when we met with you that you prefer not to watch at pubs or anything because then you hear all sorts of
Yeah.
negative
I
comments and everything that people
absolutely
say.
hate it.
Yeah.
I hate it. I cannot go to a pub to watch a game. I cannot be in these fan zones or whatever during World Cups and stuff to watch the games. If I don't care about the game, I don't care. But if it's Sweden or team that I actually care about, I cannot watch it there because you hear these guys that have never ever been close to. Well, if you ask them, they had a knee injury when they're 14. That's always how it is. But they've never been close to an academy or anything like that. But that one time when I had an injury, like, yeah, that was when the scout was whatever. But they always like, oh my God, he earns 100,000 pounds a week. Oh my God, he can't even pass the ball. He can't do this. He can't do that. He should run faster. He should do this. And dude, you have no idea what he should do. You have no idea what the coach told him to do.
Yeah.
You also have to realize that this guy that earns 100,000 pounds, he's competing against someone that earns 100,000 pounds a week.
True.
It's exactly, if he would play against you, I mean, we all know what's going to happen. Imagine like Isak or Kulusevski, for example.
I can't defend those guys.
But, I mean, what are you going to do?
Those guys train like every week.
Yeah, of course. And imagine if it's like a fat British dude in a pub. Like, what are they going to do with him?
Weirdly specific, but yes, yeah.
No, but most of the times that's what it is. These are the kind of guys.
Yeah. I get what you're saying.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm stereotyping here,
No.
but like it's very, very much the case. And imagine Kulusevski against that guy.
Yeah.
Oh my God! Like,
Yeah.
15-0.
Yeah.
Like, he's gone. He wouldn't know his name after a game.
That's true. That's a good point.
But they don't think about this.
No,
right?
yeah.
Like, they're just screaming out whatever,
Yeah.
and that's what happens on the arenas. That's what creates the environment, which is amazing. But that's also what creates all the BS that is coming out of people's
with the
mouths.
negative environment, it's true.
And that just builds up anger and this and that, and then comes some stupid racist slur or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
They don't even think about what it does to the players.
Yeah.
I mean, we've seen through the last couple of years We have black players that just walk off,
Yeah, yeah.
and I agree with them.
You
Yeah.
okay with that?
100%. I think the whole team should just like, okay, we're done.
Yeah.
Khalas.
Yeah.
Off the pitch.
Masalama.
It's just ridiculous. It should not exist. But sadly, it also exists on the pitch, which is even worse.
Yeah.
But
Wow.
yeah,
Man.
It's all right.
Well, yeah.
I think we should let's talk about what you do now.
Yeah.
all right.
We spent a lot of time. Definitely, I think it's been nice to have you again. There's too many things we can ask, but
Yeah.
let's talk about what you do now. So,
Yeah.
how would you describe what you do now?
So there's a few different parts. I have a real job together with my colleague and partner, and he's from a financial background. I'm obviously from more of a legal background, and we have a company that import medical tech.
Okay.
It's very far from the football life.
So that's one part.
That's one part, and I'm not going to bore you with that. The second part, I still have one foot in the sports world, where I have a sport management company here, helping a few agents here and there, helping with the sponsor deals, and trying to find partners for clubs and federations and whatnot, and especially now when the whole Saudi market has opened up like crazy, with PIF and everything that Saudi wants to do with their football league and sport in general. It opened up quite a lot of doors.
Yeah.
And a lot of European clubs obviously want us to have a piece of that cake.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's what I'm focusing on now. Just started a conversation with a very famous Icelandic football player, and we will start something when he decide to put his shoes away, because Iceland has a lot of talent, and obviously he's been national team for many years, still playing. He still has a couple of years, I would say, but we're going to start to work together more and more and try to find Icelandic talents, and try to bring them to the real leagues.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So that's what I'm focusing on now. Also helping a big one of the world's biggest clubs to with sponsors and so on. So yeah.
So you're involved in a lot of sports business.
Yeah.
Ooh.
But coming back to what we discussed before, I never aimed to be a coach or anything like that. I always wanted to be on the other side. That's a big reason why I actually left Sweden as well. For many years, Sweden was way behind other leagues. Most of the clubs still today doesn't own their own arenas, for example. Yeah. Which is the biggest mistake in my opinion. When I was studying, I wrote my what's it called, the thesis, yeah, on this subject, why clubs need to own their own arenas.
So who?
And every single club got this.
They call it competitive.
Yeah.
Wow.
But I think it's 3 or 4 clubs maximum right now that own their clubs. It's the city.
The city owns it. Okay.
Yeah. So the city owns the arena and everything around it.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So what would you say to like AC and Inter that share an arena?
Well, they're not going to for very long, right?
That is
So
true.
no, but that I don't see a big problem with that if the clubs can work together.
Yeah.
Fair.
You have 2 clubs in Stockholm, for example, where I don't agree with it, because you have Djurgården, which is a top team in the Swedish Premier League, and you have Hammarby, which is also a top team. Hammarby is owned by what is the name? I think they're 40. No, it's a big organization in US. They also own LA Galaxy.
Oh, okay.
So that group, so they own the arena, right? And Djurgården is just renting space there, which is useless, because for every, let's say that a ticket is, I don't know, $50, you only keep maybe $10 of that, instead of taking everything, right? And all the sales and everything on the arena, it goes down in their pocket. And in this case, it's Hammarby that I guess the money. So it's the club that they're competing against, and it shouldn't be like that.
They haven't made rival each other.
It's stupid, right? It's dumb.
Yeah.
But we also have a different system in Sweden, where clubs are not allowed to be owned by external owners. So it has to be owned by the members. So 51% has to be owned by the members, and then 49% can be bought by us, for example, or whoever. And it's a very, very, very strong opinion in Sweden that that's the way it should be. But then every year, when we don't make it to the Champions League or whatever, they're complaining.
Yeah.
So they don't realize the economy behind the whole.
How the business should work.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, they have you now.
Yeah, there you go. Help them.
Yeah. No, but it's getting better, but it's still not there. It's still not there. I mean, in the Premier League, the teams there, it's brands, right? It's not. It's products. It's not. It's not a club. Even though it is a club, they kind of manage to keep it like that. But if you can go to the extreme like MLS, that's completely a product, right? And I think it has to be a mix of both. It has to.
Yeah. You've been in Dubai for about 10 years?
Yeah, 10 years full time now.
Full time,
yeah.
Have you run into are there any crazy football stories, people you run into?
Yeah.
You probably have a lot.
No, so when I first moved here, it was actually 12 years ago, when I thought that I was done with football. So I was training with Al Ali, and this guy he just asked me like, okay, do you wanna come for a friendly game? I was like, sure, no problem. He came, he picked me up, and we went out to this facility. I was just like, well, where are we? It's the best pitch I've seen in my life. And I've been, in some okay arenas. And it's like, oh, it's just a friendly. It would be fun, like nothing serious. I opened the door to the locker room, and the first guy I see is Salgado.
Oh, Michel Salgado.
Yeah, I was like, jeez, okay. Hi, how are you? The second guy is Maradona. Third guy is Zidane. Cannavaro is there, and I'm just like, what is going on here? Like, why am I here? And I was just looking at my friend. And I was like, what, dude? What's going on here? He's like, no, it's fine. I just sit down and change. I'm like, okay. And then next to me is Hulk. And I was like, what's up?
Brazilian Hulk.
Yeah.
Not the Marvel one.
The Brazilian one. Yeah, exactly. And I'm just like, well, this is insane. I haven't even like been close to these kind of players. And when I was active. And I was like, okay, whatever. I'm just gonna try to keep it cool and not like ask for photos with with everyone. And then there was a friendly game at Sheikh Hamdan's facilities at what's today is Nas. Nadal Sheba, right? And they were here on vacation. They were invited to play with a few of them, and then
Amazing.
And then after that, like, played weekly with Maradona. Cannavaro was there. It's crazy.
Armando.
Yeah. The funniest story is actually, so obviously I told my friends about this, like everyone would, right? And they were like, cap. Like, we call BS on that. I was like, no, it's true. And I showed them pictures. Like, yeah, you met them, whatever. And they came here, and I was like, look, I'm going to invite you to the game. And that week, the game was canceled. So I'm like, okay, of course. And they gave me so much shit. I mean, they were on me like, yeah, liar, like this and that, banter, right? I was like, okay, whatever, I think whatever. And then we're walking around in Dubai Mall.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden we just hear, goalie, what's up? And I turn around, and it's Maradona. And my two friends that were with me, they turn around and they're like, their jaws were like on the ground, and from that moment they didn't say a word. So that is probably the best story about what a guy.
That's awesome, man. That's amazing.
Yeah.
Wow.
So it's some good memories, and I mean, that would have never ever happened if I wasn't here in Dubai.
Yeah,
it's the only place where stuff like that can happen.
True, yeah. That's true. It brings a lot of people from a lot of different places, backgrounds, cultures.
Yeah.
Look at us on this table.
Well, yeah, that's true. Yeah,
that is true.
You have a Viking, an African, and a Asian.
All shades.
But in your time here, what is your opinion about football in the UAE and in the region? By the region, I mean like the GCC. What are you seeing is going on?
Yeah.
Qatar has just hosted the World Cup in 2022.
Yeah.
Saudi's trying to do the 2030.
Yeah.
You've said what we all know about the Saudi League.
Yeah.
I think Iniesta is here now in the UAE.
Yeah. That's what come on.
Pjanic is here in the UAE. Sharjah. What's your ideology of football in the GCC going forward?
I mean, going forward, I think it's only going to get better. The quality of the players will be better. For a very long time, especially with the UAE league, it was not really taken seriously. I remember when I was training with one of the teams here, and I was just like, what is the level? Like, they're extremely talented and extremely, like, their technique was very, very good, but no structure whatsoever in trainings, in when they came to the club or to the clubhouse or the locker room, like, everything was just like, it was not serious. I was
discipline.
Not discipline whatsoever. I was a bit shocked, but that is obviously very different now. You have coaches that are coming in. I was telling you, Al Wassel has the old Malmö FF's coach, Milos, and
I need to watch out Wassel.
Yeah, definitely. They're doing really well now, and obviously he comes. So he was in Sweden before, and then he went to what do you call it? Red Star in
Star Belgrade?
Yes. Yes.
Croatia.
In Croatia, yeah. So obviously he comes with the mindset and a way of coaching that is very international and top level. So things are getting better, much better, I would say. And with the capital they have, with the strong people behind the clubs. I mean, it's just going to get better.
That's
And-
awesome.
and
At some point, it felt like it was from here out. So it was like Abu Dhabi, Man City, Qatar, PSG, now PIF, Newcastle. So it felt like it was just out. But do you feel like they are now looking in and go, okay?
It's important for them, and again, what we discussed before, it's brands, right? You look at Manchester City. They have Manchester City. They have New York FC. They have Melbourne FC. They have the club in Abu Dhabi. One of the clubs there. They have a club in Japan now. I think they have one in Mexico. Like it's a brand now.
The City Sports Group.
Exactly.
City Football Group.
Yeah. And
Plus Pro Sports, the Pro expanded, yeah.
exactly, and it's their aim to have players from all around the world.
Yeah.
Because you will sell jerseys,
Yeah, true.
and at the end of the day, if you sell a couple of million jerseys because you have a very talented Chinese or a Japanese player, that's a lot of money into the club, right?
True, yeah.
And also, if they have all these clubs, the goal is to actually. So a good friend of mine, Khaled El Ahmad, he was the head scout for New York FC. So he told me about the whole system. So they're trying to get young players, and they start in, for example, New York, or they start in Melbourne, and then they see that they're good enough, and then they go to a better team in a better league, and then end of the day, they're aiming to get them to play for Manchester City, which is like up here in the pyramid. Yeah. So it's a smart way to look at it, and a smart way to do business.
True. Yeah.
But yeah, this part of the world is it's getting stronger when it comes to football. Of course,
That's good.
Yeah.
Well, I guess we're in the right place.
Yeah. Hopefully it keeps getting better and better and better.
It will get better. I think it will take time.
Mhm.
It will also take time for people to take it seriously. If you ask a random Spanish guy that is a hardcore Barcelona fan, for example,
Right.
he will just laugh and say, "That's not real football." Right? It took time for Manchester City to become real football. They were really not so good team a while back, right? And it will take time for people to actually take these leagues seriously.
Yeah.
But they will get there.
Yeah.
I think.
Well, I think they're on the right track.
Yeah.
Like City have just won the treble this season, so
Yeah.
Let's see.
that's good stuff.
Yeah.
And look at Qatar, World Cup Qatar. Everyone was like, "Oh, it's horrible, and it's this, and it's going to be the worst World Cup ever." Everyone that was there, everyone was like, "It was amazing."
And yeah, it was great.
But you always have media, right?
Right.
That is pumping out the not so true facts.
And plus, once the whistle goes, then it's all football. And so
Yeah, true.
then at that point, it's just all the game. People watch the game, then
Yeah.
that's it.
And everyone was complaining, "Oh, there was no alcohol in the stands." So
Probably
who cares for 90 minutes? Like, who cares? Like, if you can't handle that, you have a bigger problem, my friend.
There were reports that women felt a lot safer because of that, because then they weren't, getting,
Of
these men like kind of like harassing them and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think, but everyone said it was an amazing World Cup,
Yep.
right?
Well, hopefully it keeps going up.
Yeah.
But people like you here to develop the games
Yeah.
in different ways.
Slowly.
Slowly but surely.
Yeah.
Slowly but surely.
Yeah.
So before we round up, let's do how many? Just enough quick fire questions.
Do all of them.
Yeah, just enough. We'll do all of them. Just enough. I might ask you why for some of them.
Sure.
All right. So
Let's
the
go.
first one, tea or coffee?
Coffee.
Good.
Why?
What? The?
I never drank tea ever.
Never?
Ever. I don't like it.
Oh, wow.
It's
Okay.
bad water for me.
Oh, man.
Ted Lasso would agree with you.
Well, yeah, Ted Lasso. Play football or watch football?
Play football when I was in shape. Watch football now.
So both.
Well, okay.
Yeah.
Beach or cinema?
Beach.
You like the sand or you like the water or you like the sun?
I like the view.
Ooh, cool. Okay, you already said you don't want to be a coach. So would you rather be an agent or a sports director?
Sports director.
Business.
I can see that.
Are you a morning or an evening person?
Neither.
He's like, you don't want to say something your girlfriend should hear you say something.
No. I would say morning.
Okay. Messi or Ronaldo?
Zlatan.
I love that so much. That's such a Zlatan response. I love
that
it.
is beautiful. That is just beautiful. Beef or chicken?
Beef.
You don't like chicken?
I love chicken.
But beef.
I love beef more.
Oh, okay. Okay, play for Arsenal or play for the national team in a major tournament?
Oh.
Wow.
Now I would say Arsenal.
Okay.
Wow.
Arsenal.
Yes.
I hope you don't lose your passport.
It would have been gone if they could.
Okay, so you grew up in Sweden. You were telling me earlier it's negative 26. Wow. So cold or heat? Weather, I mean, right?
Heat.
And now you live in Dubai, where summer it's what it is. So cold or heat?
Heat, definitely.
What are you liking, man?
Definitely, but if you knew how it is to go out in January or February for preseason,
Oh my gosh.
as a
yes,
goalkeeper,
as a player,
it's
yeah.
wet, it's cold, it's you're trying to catch the balls, or you get one in your face on an AstroTurf. It's not great.
Yeah. Makes sense. Like,
Skiing is beautiful, but living in a country where it's cold and it's dark is not great. I rather be
Okay. So you take the sun.
sun.
Oh, cool. Well, the last one I was going to ask you, Zlatan or Zlatan? That's the last one.
Well, then I'm gonna say Manuel Neuer.
Oh, that's just beautiful, man. Thank you so much for coming.
Yeah,
Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much. Thank you, man.
appreciate it, brother.
Of
Thank you
course.
so much, man.
Thank you.
Guys, that was Christian. Leave a like, leave comments. Just tell us how you enjoyed the episode. If you have more questions for him, because we'll hopefully have him next time on as well at some point.
Hopefully.
But thank you, man, so much for joining
Thank you.
us.
Thank
It's
you.
been amazing. And
Really amazing.
yeah,
Enjoy that.
really, really amazing. And yeah, we'll catch you guys in the next one, I guess.
All right, man. See you guys.